Okay, so I built a cold email verification and outreach automation. So this was all spawned because I wanted to do cold email outreach and I didn't really know how to do it without spending every waking second trying to do it manually. So I started putting together some automations and it was a bunch of trial and error. And now I think I've actually got it working. So I need to document it now. So here we are. We'll go in here. I do it over a series of 3 or 4 emails, um, automations that are associated with it. And so this first one is the verification of the email. So I run all my emails through NeverBounce, and it's a tool that does email verification, and you can get it to do cold email outreach and all of that. So I really only use it for verification. And so I plug all of my lists into NeverBounce, and it will give me results on the quality of my list. And so it'll tell me if the email is valid, if it's a catch-all email, if it's invalid, if I have duplicates, and so on and so forth on the list. And so once I get that list out of NeverBounce, I remove all of the invalids, or it removes all the invalids and duplicates, and then I run all of the unknown or catch-all or whatever is not valid through GoHighLevel, to give it a second go over. And so that's what this automation does. Once I run the, I'll dump them into the verification process, and it will tell me which emails bounce, which ones have not, yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. Once that is done, this automation kicks in and it will automatically put a tag for do not disturb on it. Anything that comes back as a hard bounce or soft bounce at any point in time when it's running through this process will give an automatic D&D tag for emails. So that way my bounce rate stays low and I'm getting to inboxes that I need to get to. And so I found that this is working. The first time I did it, I just ran everything through GoHighLevel. I still had a few bounces and everything, but I wanted to find a system that was going to be like a double check. And so I included NeverBounce. I looked at a couple of other ones, ZeroBounce, and I forget the other one. But NeverBounce seemed to be the best bet, where I get 10,000 email verifications for like $50. So that was great. And then if I need to continue doing that on a monthly basis, I could either pay $50 a month or just, pay as I go kind of thing. So every email that is unknown or not goes through this email validator in DHL. And again, even as this going through the rest of the automations, if anything pops up as bounced, it will automatically tag it and D&D it. So I'm not sending extra emails. So let's open it up and I'll show you what it looks like. And let's see if it takes all day. So again, very simple. If an email, once it goes through the validator, if it comes back with an email invalid verified, then it D&Ds. If at any point the tag opens up and it is a hard bounce through the campaign, it will automatically D&D. Same thing with soft bounce. And so that's just my way of keeping track of and keep my email list clean. So let's go into really email number one and how I have that set up. I have a series of 3 emails that everybody in the list goes through. Once they respawn, I pick it up automatically. I haven't found a good way to do the email response. I've been playing around with the new email AI response for email, and it just hasn't worked out. So once they reply at any point in stage, then I pick it up. And I know this is a warm lead, so I converse back and forth with them. And it's taking forever, but that's okay. So step 2 is email 1 of the campaign. And how I have this set up, I don't have a trigger for this. I dump these in manually. And how I do that is my list, I break it down into batches. And I can show you on the next go round how I do that, just to make it simple. But I break it into batches and I drip it into the workflow. So because this is a new domain, I am slowly dripping into sending emails. So 20 a day for the first week, 40 a day for the second week, 60 a day for the third week, and so on and so forth until I can get up to, a few hundred a day. And that'll take a few weeks just to warm the domain up. And so email number 1, you come in here and it has all of the proper widgets. And then I have really a basic email, text only, no links, no anything. And I just, cold email it. So I say something like, hey, I'm a notary and or business owner, whatever field you're in. And you open it up like that. So there is some trust. And then you go into the spiel about it. I found you on such and such lists, and I'm just trying to, figure out who's active and who's not, so I can clean up my list. Okay, so here's email number 1, and like I said, I just say something real simple. Hey, I'm, with the notary service, and I came across your information listed on the Secretary of State. And I'm just looking to know whether you active or not. That's it. I'm looking for notaries, connecting with notaries who want to grow their business through systems. Really simple. And that is what I do for the email. I always turn on tracks clicks so it can give me some email statistics and results. But I also, for this one, I make sure that I add tags depending on what it is. So if an email just happens to slip through and bounces, then they get the bounce tag, which then populates automation number 1 to D&D them, so they are, not in future emails from there. If they unsubscribe for whatever reason, because they just want to be bothered, also again, D&D keeps moving. If they reply, they get a reply tag, right? Okay, so that's email number 1. And then, I'll wait 2 days. So if anyone replies, so I had 20 that went out today, as you can see, two of them replied. I want to say it's 3 of them that replied, but those who replied came down this branch. This is a branching sequence, wait 2 days, and then branch from there, wait for reply. Anybody who replies is tagged again, replied. I get an internal email and SMS, and then they leave the workflow, which now triggers me to respond. Now I know this is a human, a person who's willing to respond. If they don't respond in 2 days, right, I check if they have a bounce or unsubscribe or whatever. If they happen to have made it through and they haven't unsubscribed or bounced, they now go down this branch in which they get tagged again just for GP to make sure that they made it. and then they're removed from the workflow. If they have regular tags and then they just don't respond after 2 days, I add them to the next workflow, which is email 2 and 3. Okay. And that's email number 1. And this ensures that people who come through are vetted properly, tagged properly. I get notifications to respond, and then they move on to the next scenario. So I originally did this with an email campaign for email number 1 before I went through all of the cleaning of the list, and I got a ton of bounces, and it was a mess, which is why I now have a 2-step verification process in there, and I can now move this to a workflow. The issue was I wouldn't have been able to verify them up front, and then people just keep going down the pipeline. So that's why I separated this out from email number 1, because at this point, I needed something to, again, clean the list that comes through just in case any stragglers came up, and then not keep going down the rabbit hole of each email. And so, again, originally had this as email 1, wait, email 2, wait, email 3, and it was just a mess. 100%, they suspended my original domain for bounces, and my bounce rate was like 13% or something ridiculous. And so this is what shook out. Okay, so moving on to the next workflow, which is emails 2 and 4 through 4. And this is the rest. By the time they make it here, they've been almost vetted 3 times going through the list. So NeverBounce is 1, where they emails verified, all bounces removed. GHL, if there was unknowns, they get a second swag look. And then when they go through email 1, they get another look and another touch point. And so by the time after 2 days, they leave email number 1 workflow, these are all emails that actually work besides unsubscribes. And so we know that much. Nothing has bounced to this point. And I'll show you the delivery rate. I want to say it's like 99%, or it's either 90, 98 or 100, something like that, for delivery rate. So we know all of the emails are actually getting there. Okay, so again, if they make it through email 1 workflow, they are automatically brought into this workflow from the previous. No need, no nothing for me to do. And so I just put these wait steps in here just so I could, feel like it wasn't going to mess itself up. So I think email 1 had like a 10-minute wait, and then here another 5-minute wait. So 15 minutes after the 2-day mark, they all enter into this workflow. Again, if they reply to email number 1 or any of that point, they are then going down this rabbit hole and taken out of the workflow. So all no responses now hit email number 2. And this is a simple follow-up email that says just that. Hey, I'm following up to see what's going on. Okay, so here we go. Email number 2, again, identify myself up front. So, I'm just trying to build authority and, getting known with each other that I'm a part of their crew. And I just follow up. Just follow up on my last message. I've been talking to a lot of notaries, blah, 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 yada, yada. Again, no links, all plain text in this one as well. And to be clear, all of these things have plain text in them. I think I might introduce a link in email 3 or 4, something like that. And then I do, again, put on conditional tags. And this is just for hard bounce, all that kind of stuff. And speaking of, I should add a reply in here. So I'll go ahead and fix that now. Interaction replied. All right, let me hit save. Boom, great. We just saved that action. Again, all of these are on. Hit save, just so we're good. If again they reply, they go down the rabbit hole of replied, tagging, all the things. And I know that's double work for the third if they reply. And that's probably why I didn't have it on, honestly, because if they reply, they automatically get this tag. But whatever, double tapping, you just never know. Then it waits again another 2 days before it sends email number 3. And then this is really like the email that I'm like, okay, you haven't responded to 2 emails. I haven't gotten a touch point. Let me offer you something. Fair enough. Okay, and then here's email number 3. Real quick, here's the offer. I'm offering them something for free. And if I don't, I make sure that I'm just giving them a freebie. Hey, it's a quick checklist. I've come up with a checklist for the systems checklist. And so this gives them an opportunity to click this. This is also tagged for clicks. So I can make sure that I'm tracking if people are clicking or not, who's looking at the checklist, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the when I introduced the list. Okay, so again, got all of these additional settings on. Let's go ahead and look. Yep. And so here's where I introduce if they click the link. If they click the link, they get add a tag checklist view because this is going to take them to the checklist. And they get that. So I know they at least engaged and got a checklist. And this is how I can market differently to them as well because they're interested. Okay, and I think the last touch point is if they haven't responded in 2 days, this is now like day, what is this? Day 3 for email number 2, day 5 for email number 3, and then day 7 for last touch. At this point, if nobody responds in a week, maybe they're dead. Who knows? Or they're just not interested. And so I kick them one last touch that says just that. Hey, this is the last time. I won't bother you anymore, kind of thing. Again, I haven't heard back from you, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. If you are a notary and still want the checklist, just reach out, hit reply. And this is my last touch point. And then after that, again, I still like wait a day and then they get a tag for no response. So now this goes into later reactivation campaign in a month, 2 months, or whatever. I'll take this and then I'll try and market to it a little differently. But this is, let me look at this last one. Okay, so the last workflow here is for the checklist follow-up. So if anybody clicks on that link, they get the checklist view tag, and that tag then triggers an immediate response within a certain time frame. And this is just me with that touch point trying to keep it going. Right, so here is the checklist follow-up. So once that tag is put on, that triggers this automation. I get an internal email and an SMS. And again, I'm doing that for myself. For me, when this thing starts to go at scale, I will have a VA in here, being assigned these notifications so they can respond, get in there. Right now, it's all coming to me. So that checklist tag is inputted. I give them 15 minutes. Maybe they look it over, maybe 10 minutes. whatever, then I send them a follow-up email. And that follow-up email is to, again, keep it going, you know. So quick question. And I just did this as a simple quick compose because I just needed to go out. And maybe not even 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes because somebody's a fast feeder. You just want a touch point. How many of those do you already have set up? And this speaks directly to the checklist. You know, and I leave it open-ended for a reason, so they could either respond and say not nearly enough, or I need to set it up, or I'd like to learn how to set it up. And in that checklist, I do have a call to action that says, hey, if you need help with any of these things, set up an appointment, kind of thing. But this is my last bit of touch point with them, so they can, boom, know that it's happening. Okay. And that ends my overall email campaign. So far, I'm now running this on a new domain towards a new target audience. I've already ran this play in another space, doing another thing. And it's been successful, which is why I'm running the play here. But here, that's what I have. If you have questions, if you want to know how to do this, feel free to reach out. I'm always here to ask questions and get us going on systems. Bye for now.
Running a business is about focus. It's about having the right environment to do your best work. It's about the systems that keep you organized and ensure your clients remain at the heart of everything you do. If this gave you direction today, we're building systems like this inside the school community, so your business actually feels easier to run day to day. Join us when you're ready. You'll find the link in the description box. We are excited to build with you.